welcome back to this month's HapKiDo basic training. I want you to take a look at a couple things this month on basic throwing, utilizing the fireman's throw or the fireman's carry. We're going to go over a lot of details on that. However, before I do that, I want to mention something to you. I've noticed now in HapKiDo a lot of times people are coming up with new HapKiDos and souped up HapKiDos and things like that. Well, let me tell you something about that. In HapKiDo is a very diverse and eclectic martial art in the first place. I am all about and all for instructors in martial arts that are teaching this style of saying, wow, this is a phenomenal, large martial art, and wanting to add a technique or add some additional concepts and so forth. I think that's a great thing to do. Certainly, HapKiDo is a style that has had ground techniques in it since the inception. Of course, now, with ground fighting becoming more popular, some of those techniques are becoming a little more refined. Earlier, HapKiDo had techniques that we kind of pulled from judo, and that's been going on for decades. And now people also are cross-training some with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and catch wrestling and things like that, and refining some of those ground techniques in HapKiDo a little more. That's just one example of the art continuing to grow and prosper and evolve. However, I want you to understand something. HapKiDo has always been an incredible self-defense system. It was developed in the 40s and 50s in Korea. Mind you that that was some of the most dangerous place that you could be in the entire world at that time. They just had recovered from an occupation from 1910 to 1945 by the Japanese. They had a little bit of a rebuilding period. Next thing you know, there was the Korean War. Guys, keep in mind, even in the 40s and 50s, in this area, the people were very poor, they were very desperate. There were guns, there were knives, there were street fights, there were gang fights. So HapKiDo from the beginning has been a very formidable self-defense, and it is only because it's such an awesome, eclectic martial art that it sets up perfect to continue to grow and refine. So when somebody tries to say that they've revolutionized the art or something like that, to me that's hogwash. It's a phenomenal art, and it's a perfect art to continue to grow. So HapKiDo is traditional, as some systems may be, is a phenomenal art. And if some things are added or refined, even better. Now, looking back at the fireman throw, today what's happening is I'm going down from my knee, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about the penetration step. So from here, let's say he does something simple like grabs to my neck. I have a distraction this way. And again, this technique is powerful and brutal. The whole thing I'm showing you, and this has been in HapKiDo since the get-go. So I have a distraction or a strike here, or maybe even a punch. I pop this out. Now I'm going to step. Now this is the mistake that people make on the fireman throw. They try to throw from here. It's not going to happen. You have to penetrate deeply. So when I step in, I've got to get way in here. From here it's so easy for me just to bring him over. I'm not having to lift him with my arms. So when I see people having problems with the fireman throw, they're trying to throw from way out here. It doesn't work that way, people. I've got to get in, under, and through. And now all I got to do is just shift it. I can balance him like this all day because that's how the technique is set up. Now, when you finish this, of course, obviously, I can throw him all on over. If he gets to wiggling, I may end up having to go back to the backside land and switch into a ground fighting position. There's a lot of different ways to finish the throw. And there are a lot of variations of the fireman throw, but what they all have in common is a good, deep penetration step. Work on that. Train hard. I look forward to seeing you be successful.